Hello everyone, welcome to State of the Game for October 11th, 2018. That's State of the Game number 109. And I know that the number makes no sense, but I just wanted to mention it. That makes me happy because we are on our way to State of the Game number 200, basically.
Soon.
We're getting there. Come on, we're getting there. How is everybody doing? Ah, there's that guy. There's that guy. So I am...
I don't even know.
Thanks, Ella. Thank you very much. Blame Hamish. Okay. Yeah. So I am joined today with my good buddy Fredric. How are you doing?
Hey, yeah, I'm good. This is exciting. Finally get to start talking about the game.
Talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Why could you be here? That's interesting.
Yeah. No, I wanted to just talk about
1.8.3
balance.
Talk about hot sauce.
Hot sauces. We found chips on the floor here today.
Yeah, we did find chips. They're still here since. When did you make this video?
As months and months ago.
And people that never watch this video are like, what are they talking about? We're like, 20 seconds into the State of the Game and they're already cringing.
Lots of cringe. It's good.
Peter is not here. Peter is not here because whatever, he's not feeling well. So that's me. Hi, you're stuck with me, so it's going to be even weirder than usual. But we have a few things to talk about. And actually, yes, today is going to be a bit of a special State of the Game because it's going to be like 99% dedicated to Division 2 things.
Yes, for once. That's going to be great.
Woo, yeah, good job us. We're going to talk about Division 2. And for that, we brought somebody that actually knows about Division 2.
Put the pressure on. Yeah,
to put the pressure on, right? But first, one thing, the only small bit of information about Division 1 that we wanted to bring up is that there is a new shield that's out. It's the Rebel Shield, and it's asking you to get to wave 15 in resistance. So go out there, do it. Mm-hmm.
My notes say it's not retroactive. So you actually have to do it.
True. Second point in here, it says not retroactive. You have to do it. I did get a question from Buzz, though, that was asking if you need to do it in all three areas. I don't believe so, but I would need to double check. I'm pretty sure it's just get to wave 15 in any kind of area for resistance. But we will be double checking that. But anyway, that was the small bit of information. Go in the game, go play resistance, get to wave 15, get your shield, and keep getting all the shields. So you're going to get all this sweet stuff for Division 2. Speaking of Division 2, that transition.
Smooth.
Smooth. Amazing. All right, so yeah, we had an article that came out, was it last week? Yeah, it was last week, right?
Last week or the week before, but anyway, recently.
I can't remember. We had our very first dev blog about the Division 2 or Intelligence Annex, and that was about weapons. And we talked about a few things in there. Actually, I have a bit of a summary of what are the things that are mentioned in there. But if you haven't read it, go to thedivisiongame.com. It's there, the Intelligence Annex, whatever is the title, something weapons. How's that called? Something weapons?
Weapons in the Division 2?
Weapons in the Division 2. It's very original. But the title might be unoriginal. The content is amazing. So go read it. But basically, what we're talking about in there is how we kind of change or modify the weapon handling. It's been reworked in the Division 2. We're talking about a new weapon category, the rifles, and we'll talk a bit more about that with Fredric. We talk about exotics. We talk about the grenades that are now tied to specializations, the mods and how they work and how they are now unlockable and not items anymore, the talent system, and we will, of course, have new weapons, is my last bullet point. So this is the content of that dev blog. I basically spoiled the whole thing for you, but you should still go read it because it's good. It's good, and Ella put a lot of efforts into writing it. So good job, Ella. Thank you.
And people did read it, and people did have questions, and that's why I'm here.
Are you telling me like, okay, move on to
No, I'm just saying that for those that like to listen and not read, we'll go into some of these details.
Yeah, so absolutely. There's a bunch of people that read it, but those that didn't read it either, you can stay here. That's fine. We'll have a lot of information. But yes, there were some questions, there were some comments, some things that were potentially unclear or people wanted to hear more about. So that's why we thought, hey, let's bring the guy that's actually behind all of that, and let's have a talk about it. So that's what we're here for.
It's good fun to get to be on State of the Game.
Yeah, it's been
a while.
It's
been a hot minute. Yeah.
When was the last time you?
I can't remember, but I mean, we streamed from E3.
Yeah,
that was kind of a State of the Game.
Yeah, that was a very long, 14-hour State of the Game. That was intense. we made it though. There were a lot of information in there actually. So if you haven't watched it,
catch those VODs.
Don't watch the 14 hours of it. I mean, you can.
Some people have extracted good bite-sized stuff.
I'm sure you can find the good bites. Yeah. But here, we're going to talk about weapons. Can you actually introduce yourself just for those that wouldn't know?
Yes, so my name's Fredric. So my technical title is Lead 3C Designer. 3C is kind of the core gameplay of the game, controls and camera and stuff like that. But I also do the weapons and all of the RPG gear with lots of help from like many other designers.
You're not like the one guy that does
I don't
everything.
make all of it. I coordinate it and design it.
And you have ideas
and lead.
So
and I did, but for the Division 1 I did the weapons as well, which means I get to one up myself by doing the weapons for this game.
You've learned a lot.
Yes, we've learned a lot. Absolutely.
All right, so yeah, speaking of weapons, and the first thing that we wanted to talk about following the article is, and one of the big things that we revealed in that article is that the fact that yes, there is a new weapon category, the rifles.
And so rifles. So for those that didn't read the article, the idea is that there's a weapon category kind of between assault rifles and marksman rifles that's just called rifles, and it's got a few reasons why we made that. One of them is simply that's what you would find if you go and scavenge in a major American city. You'd find lots of these semi-automatic AR-15s and rifles and hunting rifles and stuff like that. Some other reasons is that we tried a few rifles in the past, like the MDR and maybe some of the burst rifle stuff, but they kind of fit awkwardly next to their kin in the assault rifle category.
Because they were put in other categories.
And even the Ep109 that's in the marksman rifle category was always kind of a bit too fast shooting and like close quarters to fit in there. So this rifle category makes sense
and then you have
for that reason.
The MDR that was in the assault rifle.
Yeah, so it kind of made sense, and it's kind of thematic for the game because that's what you would find in this sort of civilian area a lot of the time, because you are scavenging weapons, right? You didn't bring all of your guns with you. But then there are other factors.
But so just for the people that are not weapon savvy, like what's the difference between a rifle?
Right, so we're going to make sure that the assault rifle category is what you think of if you're a gamer as assault rifles, like fully automatic, hold the trigger, they shoot, full auto. Marksman rifles are the ones that you have big kick, you shoot less often, long distance, good at distance. Rifles, if you're a gamer, are kind of where Halo started with their battle rifle. Like fast firing, doof, 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 John Wick style, but semi-auto, so you have to pull the trigger every time, right? So they're more medium range
something
weaponry.
In between.
Yeah. So they handle differently, they have a new reticle, they're a new category proper with like new ammo and everything.
Okay.
And one of the reasons we can do that, and I think people might recognize that from some of their crappier roles that they've gotten in their career, is that when you get a talent that's clearly made for a full auto weapon, that's balanced for that, and you get that on a semi-auto or a burst auto or a burst fire weapon, it's not going to be the best experience. So now we can make talents and tweaks knowing that this is the category, and that's going to be better for balance. So we can make those things, burst and semi-auto, viable and balanced and fun.
So how do they handle compared to like the marksman and the assault rifle?
So some of the marksmans we've had, like if you trick out an SVD in Division and shoot without a high mag scope, you can fire pretty often, and that's sort of the type of rifle that we'll see in this category as well. Some of those rifles that were in that category, like the M1A, is moving over to the rifle category instead.
Okay, so we're moving
some of them are moving. Then there's a slew of new guns in there as well. I'm not gonna spoil exactly, but for the people that know what lever action is, they'll be happy. So just a little hint.
I have no idea what that is. So
but
I don't know. But like exciting.
Yeah. So they're fun. Like that's the core of it. It's fun to shoot like that. It's a fun category of rifle, and we want it to be viable, and it needs to be its own category for us to pour in the stats and everything for it.
Yeah. So it adds a bit more choice then for the players.
It does, and it makes a few guns that we couldn't fit in before, like semi-auto AR-15s, like actually the LVOA C that's in the game.
Yeah.
That's really a semi-auto rifle in reality.
Okay.
So now it gets to be that.
Okay.
Where before we kind of nudged it over into a category where it shouldn't belong.
Okay. So it's not just for gameplay, but it's also more realistic.
Yeah, there's a bit more adherence to the realism of the guns as well in terms of where they fit and how they operate.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. It feels good.
I hope you think your work is going to be good.
No, but I mean, the feedback so far from the people who play it is that
Yeah.
they're fun. So I hope people will have fun when they try them out.
Are they rifles in the demo that we have touring the world?
No, so we made this change after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people didn't get to experience.
People
it
did
yet.
not get to see that,
Except
which
the
is
people
why
that
we
were
wanted
lucky
to.
to come here to play
Yeah,
the game.
and that's why we needed to have that in the blog and why we wanted to talk about it
Okay.
here, so that people get to know and have something to look forward to.
Yeah. Sounds nice. All right, the next thing is about exotic weapons.
Yeah, we get a lot of, because we showed in some of our pre-orders, we showed some images of some exotic weapons, and then we explained that they won't be unbalanced compared to the ones
but you will
in the
have a
game.
similar one in the game. And,
But then people started asking, okay, so, you know, what are
What
the
are
exotic
exotic weapons?
why are they going to be good? Like, will they be better than the ones that we had, or different, or what?
Yeah.
So what's new about them? So I think from the visuals, people can tell that we're trying to make them a little bit more grounded, less chrome and stuff like that, more with like a history.
Yeah.
A lot of them have actual in-game history, as in having belonged to a faction or a character in the game as well. And I think that's really interesting to explore that direction and make them more grounded, to make them feel a little bit legendary in their context. The other thing is that we want exotics to be impactful. Like the direction last time was that exotics were niche, but not necessarily better than the other weapons, because we didn't want to kill the meta to where everybody was just sporting 3 exotic
Yeah,
weapons.
because there was even a time in the division where they were just named high-end weapons.
Yeah. So this has been an evolution of the concept, but we want to make them quite impactful. So one of the things we're doing is we're adopting a loot or gear setup where you're allowed 1 exotic gun and 1 exotic gear piece on you at any given time. So it's about making the choice of which of your slots you will dedicate towards that exotic.
So you will no longer be able to have full exotic.
No, and like that sounds like a downside, but it's actually an upside, because the point is that it's fun to choose that. And if we know you're not going to be all decked out in exotics, we can make the exotics that you do have more impactful, more fun, more, rule breaking, if you will, in what they do for the game. So I'm really looking forward to like sharing some of the talents and stuff that are going to be on there and some of the effects that they do. I think people will like them and that they'll be worthwhile chasing.
And so they come with unique talents.
They come with unique talents. We'll have a little bit of a system so that once you have one, you can keep it with you and upgrade it as you go through the end game and stuff like that. So that they'll be more of a long-term companion as well.
And one thing that a lot of people have been not asking, but like we see a lot of comments about the Division 2, and people are asking like, I hope they're going to buff, that weapon or that weapon from the Division 1.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not really hard.
So for the exotics, we're going with all new exotics. None of the old exotics are being reused. All of the exotics we're adding for the new game they're new, and some of them for new categories, because rifles, etc., etc. So hopefully that's exciting too. So forget your Hungry Hogs, or don't do that. Like keep playing Division 1, but like the Hungry Hog won't be in Division 2, so don't worry about the balancing of it.
But there's also some exotics from Division 1 that become normal weapons in Division 2.
Right, so some things like the house, for instance, we've kept the model and made it and balanced it to be a normal weapon, because it is a normal weapon type out there. It doesn't have any crazy skin or anything on it. So everything that we could keep that could just fit into the normal range of weapons gets to be in Division 2 as well, which includes the Devil and Heal and House and a few other things.
Okay, so you will still get those, but as normal weapons.
Yes.
And then you will have to find all the brand new exotics that we're adding in there. Sounds exciting. And there's exotic gear as well. I mean, we talk about weapons here. But said it's one of each. So
now today the discussion is about the
it's
weapons.
not about that, but just wanted to bring it up just so we're clear. All right, and the next one, and that's that's one where we can talk about that for a while. But yeah, it's about mods.
Yeah. And this whole conversation is about responding to the questions we've seen,
Yeah.
and some of the questions are obviously people are scared that things are moving in a direction they
Yeah.
don't like.
Yeah.
So one of the things we've heard is obviously that, okay, if the mods are just fixed and not rolled
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and their unlocks, won't that
Yeah.
negatively impact the RPG or the depth or whatever? So
Yeah.
I
So
felt
just
we
to
should
recap,
address it.
Just to recap, yeah, for everybody that haven't read the article yet, go read the article.
Do it.
One thing that we're explaining in there, and we talked about it at
Yeah.
E3 already, so it's nothing new. It's the fact that mods are no longer
Weapon
items
mods,
that you
yeah.
drop. Like weapon mods are no longer items that you drop. They're actually unlockables that then you fix to your weapons and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the experience is that once you have, I don't know, an ACOG scope, or let's take an extended mag,
Yeah.
then you have that, and you can use that for all your guns. You've unlocked the ability to have extended mags on the guns that it fits.
Yeah.
Like not all extended mags will fit all guns
Yeah.
either. And an extended mag comes with extra bullets, but it's also bigger, so it's slower reload. So it has pros and cons, and all of the mods have pros and cons. So it's about customizing the gun to feel and fit your feel good and fit your play style, rather than mandatory upgrades.
Yeah.
And some of the things we're hoping to address is, one, when you get them as rolled things with a random stat on them, there's this need for them, the stats, to grow.
Yeah.
And what happens when stability and accuracy and things like that grow forever, or like if when we expand the max cap or whatever, the guns become less fun to play with. Like they get too stable or too accurate, and eventually it becomes like you don't reload as a part of the combat rhythm because you get really large magazines and stuff. So they don't really fit the a growing style item the way that gear and gear mods and other things do.
Yeah, and they lose their identity also.
Because they
the
do.
way you handle them is like
so
it's part of the identity.
Just because they're so tied to that core shooter mechanic, it makes it not super fun to upgrade. So instead, we can then take them and make them into longer fun roads to acquire them. Like longer journey to get to the point where you have that ACOG or that extended mag for high caliber marksman rifles or what have you. So it won't necessarily reduce the grind or the gameplay to get your mods, but it will be in a different way. It'll be a more targeted way. Like, okay, I need this thing. I want to unlock this thing permanently for my character. Here's the journey to get there for it. So I'm really hopeful that it will feel better for players, that it works this way.
Yeah, and also one thing I think is that that's one aspect to all the RPG mechanics we have in the game. There are still some other aspects we haven't revealed yet. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
But as always, our goal is that this is as deep, as interesting as Division 1 was, and has a rich RPG and a rich loot depth to it. So we're very wary of that, of course.
Yeah. And so one other thing that goes a lot with RPG, and that's been that's part of the whole, gearing up loop of Division 1, it's the weapon talents.
Yeah, this is really exciting. So
that has changed.
Yeah, and we showed it, the demo that we showed at E3 and Gamescom and all of these places has purple weapons in them that have a talent on them.
Yeah.
And if you've played the Division 1, you know that there's more on guns than one talent. So we're sticking with, if you're looking at a high-end weapon, it has still 3 talents that are random, just like they had in Division 1. But we wanted to make sure that there was first of all, many more talents than last time. But we also wanted to make sure that some styles of talent that didn't exist last time are viable, and that there's new exciting stuff. So I'm going to try to paint a picture of what a high-end gun looks like here.
Okay.
So a high-end gun has one of these active talents that we saw at E3. So it's like a talent that does cool stuff on headshots or on burning targets, or stacks up some bonus or something, like fun, interesting things that are very active that happen when you shoot with a gun, and that always has a little UI augmented reality attachment on the gun that you see floating next to it as well to keep track of when it procs and stuff like that. So that's like your active component. And then every gun drops with a characteristic talent, stuff that changes, whether it's like stable or nimble or long range, or just things that have to do with the characteristic of the gun, so that one AK isn't the same as the next AK.
Okay.
And the reason why we have that as a fixed, like as a slot that rolls out of all of those, is that they are interesting in a gameplay way, but you would never pick them over, you know, brutal, deadly, fierce.
Yeah.
So there was never room for handling talents before. And if you know that there's always a handling talent in slot 1, and there's more of them and they're more interesting than last time, then you'll care which one drops, and they'll become part of the characteristic of the item. And then the third type of talent that's on there together in this trio is a new type of talent.
Yeah.
And this is the holstered talent. This is active when you are not shooting with the gun, when the gun is in your side holster or on your back.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, your choices, even on the guns that you're not primarily shooting with, feed into the rest of your build. You can have this sidearm that does good stuff for your skills, or you can have a shotgun that gives you bonus in some way to sniper rifles, so you can play shoddy sniper. And you can really start to see the threads here where you feed back into your build with all of the guns you're wearing instead of just the gun you're shooting with.
Yeah.
Which also means that actually more talents are active when you're shooting them before, because it's 2 passive talents from your, or holstered talents.
Yeah.
And then the talents that are on your gun.
Okay, because you get the talent from your sidearm.
Yes.
The talent from the second weapon you're not using.
Which means that your choice of sidearm now all of a sudden becomes very, very interesting as well. Like, we're going to make sure that it's fun to play with sidearms and that they're viable to shoot with, but also they'll matter because of what they do when they're holstered.
Yeah, and so then you can create interesting combinations between the 2 weapons.
Yeah, you need to think about your whole trio of weapons when you equip.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. I think that will be an interesting addition and added depth to the RPG.
Because I remember we talked also about situations, because of the way the unlocks work. Sometimes they can be like based on something that just happened. So you can also
You're talking about the requirements for a talent to be like active.
To be active, and so like you can have situations where you trigger the requirement like with one weapon, then switch to the next one.
Maybe we'll see about that. It's hard to signal those things. We're not sure yet if we're going to go with that. That's when you without buffs or with buffs.
Yeah.
Essentially, that you can trigger these conditions, because it can make it very difficult to signal to the player all the stuff that's going on, but that's still to be explored.
Yeah. But that's a lot of avenues then for like.
There's a lot of depth, and we like that the gear feeds back to all of the rest of the gear. So you think about a build rather than just a stack of bonuses.
Yeah, because then if you're the kind of people or the kind of person that just sticks to that one gun, like me, you know, I rarely switch to my second weapon. I usually just stick to the initial or the first one I have.
Those 2 other guns still matter.
But the other guns then will still contribute to
that's the idea. I wonder how many people we lost for deep diving into a niche thing like the talents.
That's what this is here for, right? It's
that's fine.
If we start explaining that in an article, then it gets like
it becomes really complex, and I feel like hopefully everybody likes to hear these things, because this will be their grind.
Yeah, but so just to make it clear for everybody, because this is stuff that we can maybe like fly over a bit too quickly.
Yes.
So you have 3, like on the
high end has 3 talents.
3 talents.
It has a handling or characteristic talent.
Yeah, like stable or whatever.
Stable or long range or stuff like that. It has a holstered talent that feeds into your build even when you're not using the gun.
Yeah.
And then it has an active talent with a UI augmented reality attachment that does cool damagey or procky things. Effects.
Okay.
I think, and the goal is to make sure that we have lots of fun and interesting talents. Like, all of the talents are scratch made for this game. Like, they're not holdovers from Division 1.
And so then, of course, depending on which weapon you get or weapon type or whatever, you will have access to different talents like that.
Right, yeah. So there will be talents that are unique for a weapon type, and talents that are for all automatic weapons, or talent that are for all semi-auto weapons, etc. So they'll have some different pools to roll from to be technical.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then the last thing I have, and that's not really part of the article, but that's something, we've had a lot of people interested about more of the behind the scenes aspect of how we make weapons, and especially there's a lot of requests for are you going to have this gun in the game? Are you going to have that gun in the game? So can you walk us through a bit behind the scenes on how do we pick the weapons we make?
Yeah, so it's very similar to how we worked when we were live with adding new guns for Division 1, is that we first we look at what do we need. Are there too few marksman rifles, or are there too few of this, that, or the other type, revolvers or whatever. And then we look at what people want. We have a lot of people requesting things in forum threads and on social media and when we meet them, etc., to see if there are any things that stick out that okay, everybody wants, the P90, for instance, which, yes, we're doing a P90. They're confirmed.
Dropping the bomb.
And then we look, is there any gun that fits, that has characteristics that we don't have in the game already? So for the P90, it has this giant magazine on top that is much longer than what you normally get on a submachine gun. And that's really interesting because that changes, it gives a new dynamic compared to the guns that are already in the game. And so we pick a gun that fits the other criteria and that is new and adds something to the game.
So it's not just about having plenty of weapons, but they need to make sense.
Yeah, they need to make sense. So
different.
You'd think that because of our setting, we'd go only, American weapons because that's what you would find or whatever. But we do give ourselves leeway to pick all of the interesting weapons that people just want in their video games as well. Yeah. So we do go a little outside of the credibility of what you'd find, but still, that gives us leeway to have lots of interesting guns.
Yeah. So P90, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't care.
He doesn't care about P90.
I don't care. What I do care about, and that's not for me, that's for Hamish.
Oh yeah. I
We
can
talked about
see where this is
earlier.
going.
Exotic, bolt action.
An exotic bolt action? We'll make an exotic bolt action. Yes, of course.
There.
Yeah.
There. No,
Okay.
you said it.
Okay, I promised it now?
No, it's
we're live? Okay.
No, it's on the internet.
All right, then it's true.
Cannot be unsaid.
Yeah.
But we have to wait for Division 2 to have it.
So I feel like we added meaty and good details to Ella's article.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Hopefully people
thank you for
can parse our ramblings from this.
You're doing my conclusion now. You're Yannick, you're done now.
That's it. Exit.
No, so yeah, absolutely. That's I hope that there was a lot of information in there. We recap some of the things that are in the article, but also, there were a few more information in there that we couldn't put in the article because, otherwise it would have been too complicated. So I hope people got some more things to chew on.
And that it becomes clearer and clearer as we approach the launch of the game.
So that's the first of our, I don't know, I don't want to make that a thing, the Division 2 state of the game. So it's not going to be really a thing. That's just when we see an opportunity, when we see that there's a lot of conversation and we have someone that's available to talk about it, we are happy to.
If we can do it.
And
because guess what, we are crunching to kind of finish this new game we're making.
You're kind of working on that.
I don't know.
Project, right?
It's taking a little bit of my time.
Yeah, kind of, right. How is that going?
It's going well. It's exciting.
He's paid to say it's going well.
Which is true.
It is true.
Which is true, but it's also an exciting time when everything comes together and you start seeing the end product. It's really exciting.
Yeah, no, it is exciting. It's I just can't wait to play it. All right, but so thank you everyone. Quick summary, very quick summary. The Shield Rebel is live on the game, so go there. It's just basically asking you to go to wave 15 in Resistance. So that's okay, even I can do that. So that should be doable. So go in there, go play Resistance, have fun. We have a new dev blog, our very first Division 2 dev blog that is available on the website. It's about weapons in the Division 2. So go to the divisiongame.com /nothing actually. I don't know why I say slash. Go to the Division 2 game, on the divisiongame.com, not the Division 2 game, that's not a website. And you'll find the article there. And if you're, trying to get a few more information or whatever, don't hesitate to watch the VOD of that live stream again because Fredric said a lot of things that are complicated and require you to be smart to understand them. So I will have to watch it again. But So Fredric, thank you for being with us.
It was my pleasure. Hopefully people liked what they heard.
Yeah, and if you have more questions, just send them our way. You can go on the forums, you can go on Reddit, you can tweet at us. Just let us know, and we'll see. We can't answer everything. We have to keep a few secrets.
We try to answer as much as we can.
And there are still things that we're actually working on, so that we can't actually give answers to right now. But it's as time goes by, we get closer to the launch of that game, so we can talk more and more about it. So looking forward to that. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have fun. And
Bye.
we'll see you not next week. I don't know when's the next state of the game, but Peter would know, but he's not here. So, bye.